Auburn faces its toughest test of the Hugh Freeze era this Saturday in College Station. And while there's no such thing as a moral victory, regardless of what happens this weekend, Auburn is on the right track. Now, that isn't to say that losing is acceptable or that Auburn fans shouldn't be disappointed if it's a bad outcome or result. But sometimes you have to be able to see the beach through the forest. The truth is, with Brian Harsin, Auburn was on a hamster wheel. And the fan base was splintered as well as the program. They weren't aligned. They weren't together. Recruiting was just, the excitement level overall for the future was as low as I could remember. Now, this year, they enter College Station with a brand new roster, bolstered by the transfer portal. And while the game could be a huge stepping stone if they win, from a personnel standpoint, if we're going to play a game of let's be honest, it's going to be pretty tough. Why? Because Jimbo's been stacking quality recruiting class on top of quality recruiting class for a while. And the depth for the Aggies pretty much well surpasses what Auburn has right now, and it should. That's the timeline of events. Now, even though A&M has yet to break through, these programs are on two different levels development-wise. Auburn enters with a big disadvantage and is on the road in a crazy place that, ironically, they've actually done pretty well in. Now, Auburn fans are and should be hopeful entering this game. But know this. With Hugh Freeze at the helm, this will be the biggest year of disadvantages Auburn will have during his tenure. And they will have to take their lumps. It's part of it. Now, if it does go bad this weekend, Auburn fans will be pissed. But I caution you not to overreact or lose hope because this staff, unlike their predecessors, is actually capable of getting Auburn back to a place where they can walk into these games lacking nothing. Now, I do want to reiterate, Auburn can win this game. It isn't out of the realm of possibility. But fan is short for fanatical for a reason. And while most of you won't listen and will be devastated if Auburn looks less than perfect, understand it's a marathon, not a sprint. Now, having said all of that, the pressure is all on Texas A&M. They have to have this game. Now, we've heard reports from Feldman and other guys of boosters putting together their piggy banks, which are deeper than the Atlantic Ocean, in case this does go south with Jimbo this year. So in a sense, Auburn's kind of playing with house money, and that can be pretty dangerous. Now, it's a complex equation at a place like Auburn where the standard should never be lowered, but reality must be understood. And in year one, regardless of the outcome this Saturday, just remember that. Auburn is in good hands with Hugh Freeze and company. They really are. And also, patience isn't just for doctors and therapists. I'm going to bring in my co-host, former Michigan quarterback David Cohn, my brother, former Western State Colorado wide receiver Blaine Crane. Going into this game, my whole point is this. Auburn can win. It's a possibility. They need to catch some breaks. We're going to go into how they can win. But if you look at the futures for Auburn, right? Mm-hmm. They're in such better hands with Hugh Freeze and what they've been able to bring in, not only from an on-the-field standpoint, but from an off-the-field standpoint in recruiting, being able to go out and evaluate and develop guys.
Feels like the program has a lot of confidence right now.
A lot of life.
A lot of life. That's a good way to put it, which we knew was going to happen if Hugh Freeze got the head coaching job. We talk a lot in fighting that different styles make interesting fights. I feel that for this game. That's why I'm so excited for this. But it's not so much a scheme thing to me as what you were talking about, where these programs are just at different places right now. I mean, two great college football programs at very different places right now. With you look at Hugh Freeze in year one, and I agree with you with Jimbo Fisher having all of the pressure right now. I circled this game before the beginning of the year because I thought, man, if Hugh Freeze, despite lacking the personnel he wants, if he can really play those first three games with a lot of confidence and get a lot of momentum at Auburn, and then on the flip side of that, Texas A&M sort of does what we saw last year and the last couple seasons where, some panic sets in early, I'm going to pick Auburn in this football game. But despite Texas A&M losing to Miami, I didn't feel like panic had set in. Yeah. I think Miami's just good again, and they lost a game on the road. I didn't feel like, hey, everything's crumbling right now out in College Station. So that makes it even more intriguing now because you have Hugh Freeze coming in, going to run this offense in year one. My question to you, though, is what if that panic sort of starts to set in against in the middle of the Auburn game because Auburn is able to come in free and loose and no expectations and everyone's picking them to lose and because they are sort of playing with house money? What happens then for Texas A&M?
Well, I think that'd be the perfect scenario for Auburn if Texas A&M starts to press, right? Because again, look, you can sit here And Jimbo's not calling a team meeting saying, hey, guys, listen, if we don't win this game, they're going to fire me. But just as a human being, as a player on the team, you know what's going on around you. Mm-hmm. You know the pressure that's around you. The way they played against Miami, like you said, I agree with you. I think it said more about Miami than it did about A&M. But if it goes bad early, if you're Auburn, you always want to come out, if you're the team on the road or if you're the team at home, you always want to have a good start. But the longer you hang around in this game, the more that crowd's going to start to feel that pressure, and the more that team and that coaching staff's going to start to feel that pressure. So that's perfect scenario for Auburn. But when I do look at this game, I don't think this is a great matchup for Auburn, to be honest with you, for a couple reasons. One of the biggest questions we've had about this Auburn team going in is their ability to rush the passer, right? They've got a couple guys that are coming back from injury in the secondary, and that's great. But from a getting to the quarterback standpoint, A&M has not run the ball well this year. It's actually somewhat similar to last year, which has surprised me with the amount of guys they had coming back and how much talent I think those guys have. They haven't been great in the front seven on defense either. Not inept, but they haven't been what a lot of us thought they were going to be, at least to this point. So if you're Auburn and you're able to stop the run, right? You're able to make them one-dimensional, but you can't get to the passer. Connor Wegman and this group of receivers with Evan Stewart and Anais Smith, with Donovan Green at tight end, they're going to put the ball, they're going to score points. Sure. And I look at this Auburn offense on the flip side, and I still have a lot. The RPO, this is what it's built for, right? This type of game for Peyton Thorne. And he struggled to read some of it, right? That he made a couple reads last week, and it's going to be hard to be perfect. You want to be as close to perfect as possible. But I don't know if he's to a point now where Auburn can go out there and score 31 points against this A&M defense. And if they cannot get to the passer, and Connor Wegman, who we've been very high on during the offseason, and he looks pretty damn good to me right now, you're not able to get to him, not only can he beat you from the pocket, and you can't cover guys for 7 seconds, but he can extend the play on the outside of the pocket, and that's when they hit you for big plays, and then all of a sudden, you start to get worried about the pass, then it opens up the run, and then they're able to take back that balance. So that's the thing on Auburn's side defensively, Blaine, when I look at this game that would worry me when I'm sitting here looking at it from an Auburn standpoint.
Yeah, looking at this game, I feel like this is going to be a tough matchup for Auburn. And Auburn does play A&M usually well. This game's on the road, sitting at 7.5, minus 7.5 for A&M. But if you're Auburn, roster-wise, obviously A&M has a better roster. I think they're better up front on both sides of the ball. I think maybe defense, you can have I think Auburn's defense is playing one of the best in the SEC, but Auburn hasn't been tested yet, right? The toughest opponent they've played is Cal, right, and won by 4 points. A&M, even in a loss, went on the road in Miami. They've seen it.
You know your deficiency.
Yes, you know who you are. Auburn's still trying to find out who they are. And look, Hugh Freeze is the guy, all right? We all know this, but this takes time, all right? If we lose this game, it's not Hugh Freeze's fault. It's Brian Hartsone's fault, all right? It takes time to fix stuff like this. Peyton Thorne, great story. Hansel and Gretel, love it. He's not the guy. He's not the guy.
You don't think Peyton Thorne's the guy?
I don't think Peyton Thorne's the guy.
For the long run? For the long run, are you talking about this year?
We don't have another guy this year.
Well,
so unless they call David Michigan, then we're going to be in trouble.
Well, here's where I'll kind of push back against you a little bit. Watching Peyton Thorne, he runs better than what I thought, which is a huge part in this style system. Auburn can't get into the carousel of, oh, here goes Peyton Thorne for 3 plays, here comes Robbie Ashford for 3 plays. Robbie Ashford needs to come out in 3rd and short, 4th and short, and goal-to-go situations, and you have to have a package where he's able to throw the ball in those situations. It doesn't mean that it's quarterback 1A and 1B. Peyton Thorne needs to be the starter. Peyton Thorne's have to play well. Like, I know that's not a huge revelation at quarterback, but if Peyton Thorne is going to be the guy that Auburn fans hope he can be, this is the game where he's got to do it. You went on the road against Cal and played bad. Peyton Thorne played bad. From the first, really should have had a pick 6, fumble, scoop 6, whatever you want to call it, on the first drive against Cal. So we don't know if Peyton Thorne's going to be able to go in there and man up and say, I'm going to be the guy on the road. We don't know that yet. And that's going to a place, it's called the 12th man for a reason. And then on the other side, you got a guy in Connor Wegman that's a dog. Yeah. I'm going to say he's a dog. Dude can spin it. He's got moxie. He's got nuance as a thrower. And when I look at Auburn's personnel up front, I think Auburn is going to be able to run the ball somewhat in this game. Okay. Not for 8 yards a pop, but run it well enough where that RPO works. Yes. He's got it. This has to be the best reading game that Peyton Thorne has from an RPO standpoint. Because if Auburn can do that, I think you're going to see Auburn maybe go some more up-tempo in this game. They started taking shots, some shots down the field more against Samford, but you got to stay out of the 3rd and 8s and the 3rd and 9s, and a lot of that is when Peyton Thorne makes bad decisions. Can he run it well enough? Can he read it well enough? Because his intermediate passing game is pretty good, and he actually throws a better deep ball than I thought.
Agreed on all that.
College football's been absolutely great this season already. All right, we know stuff we've thrown on the grill, chicken, steak. I got a new Good Ranchers box coming in, but there's nothing like having the game on, multiple TVs, maybe YouTube multi-view, having food out there cooking on the grill. Now imagine you went to turn the grill on, you're getting ready, it's Saturday morning, all right, you got the boys coming over, all right, and you turn that propane on and it's not there.
It ran out?
It ran out, baby.
What?
Now I got to run out and have to go get some more, but guess what?
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Get on that phone.
You don't. All right, here's what you do. You hit up our friends at Cinch, okay? They're a propane grill tank home delivery service. They deliver the propane tanks right to your door on your schedule with no long-term commitment or subscription required. Plus, it's completely contactless, man.
Yeah.
All right? You don't have to wait around at the crib. They'll just come drop it off, and you can track the order on the Cinch app from anywhere in the world. So the perfect summer night wouldn't be complete without Cinch. Neither would the perfect tailgate. So go to cinch.com or download the Cinch app and use our promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, to get your first tank exchange for just $10. That's CYNCH.com, promo code BOOSTER, BOOSTER. It's a limited time offer, all right, so you better get it in gear. You need to live within a Cinch service area, which is pretty much the contiguous United States, so you're probably a pretty good chance you live in between it, all right? So go to cinch.com/offer for details. Use that promo code BOOSTER, man. I'm telling you guys, all right? We offer y'all great food. We offer y'all great propane.
Send us pictures
great
of it.
clothes.
Let's make a collage.
Let us know. I want a collage, a Booster collage.
Yeah. I just want everyone watching this game this weekend to appreciate the offensive minds that are involved.
Oh, yeah. We
talk about Hugh Freeze and Bobby Petrino and Jimbo Fisher. Just look at all the things they do from an offense and from a schematic standpoint. It's going to be something to watch. And I agree with you on a few points there, especially when you talk about, like, Texas A&M could win this football game if they don't run the ball well still.
Yeah.
They could win this game if they have the most penalties, right? I don't think Texas A&M is going to win if they turn the football over.
Well, see, that's Auburn's definitely not going to.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing we saw, especially when it came to Miami.
I agree.
And even one of those interceptions, I mean, look, we talked about it. Like, the Texas A&M receiver fell down. Even Connor Wegman put his first interception right on the money. So can Auburn not only get to him, but maybe force a couple turnovers, a fumble here, or special teams maybe?
That's
you steal
exactly
a possession or two with a muffed punt. Those are the kind of things that could keep Auburn.
You always want to win as a team, but the only way Auburn's winning this is if they play complementary football in all three phases. Offense, defense, and special team plays clean. Auburn's had a turnover problem early in the year. Look, we got to live in the real world with A&M and Miami too, right? A&M blocked a punt, which you earned that. You earned that block punt. Miami dropped a punt inside the 15-yard line. So it's to me, it is always the battle of playing clean. But again, I'll say this. Auburn could shut down the run and still give up 38 points in this game because they can't get to the quarterback. If they can't get to the quarterback. YouTube, hello friends. Subscribe. Hit the like button. Turn the notification bell on. Ring that thing like Quasimodo. We appreciate it.